Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel, TammyTalks here. Let's go ahead and get into Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 10, Love is in, or Love is Up in the Air. For brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns on various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 10,000 now, y'all. So I crossed 8,000 yesterday. So let's see, if we can get at least 100 of y'all to subscribe tonight. So if you're watching because you typed in Tammy Talks, or I was suggested to you from the end of another content creator, it's National Women's Day, right? So go ahead, support a woman and hit that subscribe button, y'all. All right. So don't forget to thumbs up the video as well. Thumbs up the video helps us smaller content creators fight the big bad algorithm. All right, so let's go into the episode. So as you guys know, this season I'm doing one episode the night of, which is going over everything that happened in chronological order, and then if there's something that kind of needs to be talked about, or if I feel like something needs to be clarified based on y'all comments, then I'll do another supplementary video in addition to this. All right. So the episode starts off with Jasmine and Aries. So Aries has COVID. So he said that he has had to fend for himself and feed himself since Jasmine has had a long day, or she has a busy day at work. I am one of the people that has somehow, knock on all the wood, escaped the row over the past 3 years. I have not had it. So I can't, speak on if he's over exaggerating or anything like that. From what I have seen from people that have had it, family members, friends, such and such, it is still very bad. It is still horrific. We just know more so what it is now. So, hope he's doing better, okay? So we switch over to Clint and Gina. So Clint is FaceTiming his mom, who, I said, is that his mom or his sister? She looked so young. So his mom is asking him, how is everything going? How's life? How's marriage? How's the honeymoon? His mama wants the deets. So Clint says that they are in smooth waters and everything is going fine so far. He said that they have the social aspect down, but she's so focused on work that he hasn't been able to get to know her deeper. So remember last episode, Clint said that he wanted to get down to the nitty gritty with Gina. He wants to know everything about her because he really wants to build that connection with her. The fact that even on the one scene that we saw, they do the little intro with all the couples, she was already up and in bed working, and he's asking her if she wants breakfast or coffee. So he's struggling with that because even though we know that Clint has a good job, we know that he works, he is a person that he really wants to get to know her on a deeper level. I think Clint came into this with the best intentions and how you're supposed to do this. So he asked his mom if she had any difficulty with having a work-life balance because his mom is an entrepreneur. And he's like, no, you couldn't have, because, she has traveled and his mom has a very fulfilling life, even though she has to work. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I was bored. I tuned out during that conversation. But what it seems like is his mom was telling him, correct me if I'm wrong, which I know y'all will, that his mom was just saying that it's going to take some patience. He has to kind of understand that entrepreneurial lifestyle that she has. And on the flip, she's going to have to make the time for him to make it work. So it's just going to take some patience, all right? It's going to take some patience on his behalf, and it's going to take some willingness to want to do this on her behalf. So we get to Nicole and Chris. So they go to get a couples massage together. Nicole said this is something she's been dying to do since the day she met him. I said, okay, goals. And Chris is saying in his confessional, he hasn't done this in 8 to 10 years since he was with that toxic ex. Chris, I think you're the toxic ex. I think you're the toxic ex, Chris. I want to talk to this ex. Y'all know how, if y'all watch Ready to Love has their exes come on and meet these people. I think Married at First Sight should do that. We should get to meet at least one of these exes because some of these stories aren't adding up. And I feel like Chris's story about this toxic ex is not adding up yet. Where has Nicole's dog been? Has Nicole's dog been to that apartment? Because this episode started off with Chris's dog. He must have huskies that are very vocal, making all that noise in that bed. I got my eye on you, Chris. Something ain't clean in the milk. Ain't that what old people say? Something ain't clean in the milk with this one. So Chris said that he tends to carry a lot of stress in his arms and he is anxious. And it's because he was anxious to meet Nicole and he was wondering who she is. Now, I've had a professional massage before. I've not had a couples massage, but I have had a professional massage before. And it was so relaxing. You know why? Because I didn't talk. I wasn't talking through it. They talk through the whole massage. To me, that defeats the purpose, right? Right? So, the guy that was massaging Nicole, he started stretching and stuff through it. I said, you know what? The jokes write themselves. Let's get to it. So, they talk about their love languages. Nicole said that in the past, physical touch was never a love language for her, ever. She was a person that didn't like PDA. She didn't want to be touched. But it's like now, since she's been with him, it's something that she's like really, really into. She can't really explain why, but she just wants to be around him. She said even while they were laying there and she could hear him and she knew that he was there, she was like, she wanted to be closer. Nicole is falling in love with this man and he does not feel the same. I don't think Chris feels the same. So she said in her confessional that her feelings grow more and more every day for him. And she has absolutely no doubt that she will fall in love with Chris, I guess, before decision day. So we get Kirsten and Shaq. Sick of both of them. Kirsten's on FaceTime with a friend. They're talking about how's life, haven't talked to you since the wedding and honeymoon, whatever. So she tells her friend that the honeymoon was amazing. I said, was it? Okay. I wasn't there. So if you say it's amazing, all right. She said the honeymoon was amazing. And then she said the next highlight was moving in together. So it's not that we got to experience this together. It's not that, I found out more about him. He overcame a fear. We had some hard conversations. I refused to kiss him. I told him he joked too much, even though he doesn't. It was amazing. And you were excited to move into this apartment. I know why you were excited about the shared apartment, because there's nothing in yours. You don't have furniture. So of course you're excited to move into a place that has a couch. That probably has bowls and spoons and dishes. Her friend tells her she tells her friend that she's waiting on his work schedule to clear up a little bit and go back to normal. So she said that Shaquille, which we know he works at TSU, Tennessee State University in Nashville, he does a lot with his students. And he's been organizing and doing these late night events with these students. And by the time he gets home, she's asleep. So she said that even, she has even tried to stay up for him, but she has, fallen asleep in the meantime. Now, y'all know I'm going to ask my brother, because my brother works at Tennessee State and he works with Shaquille. What is his job? Because my brother don't work late nights like that with the kids. So I just want to know what activities, what events do y'all have that require staff to be at that school that late, that he's coming home by the time she's asleep? Playing somebody else's face, Shaq. So her friend is saying that in order for this to work, you both are going to have to make some sacrifices. You both are going to have to, find the time to see each other. And especially Shaq, he's going to have to, find some time to spend with you. That's the purpose of you coming on this show, to find somebody to incorporate your life with that person's life. Everybody getting divorced, y'all, by decision day. Y'all know we just doing this for shits and giggles at this point. So we have Jasmine and Aries. Aries said that Jasmine made him some vegetable soup. So he is going to rate her a 7 in terms of taking care of him. What's a 10? What's a 10? Because you didn't say she opened up a can of vegetable soup. She could have made some homemade soup for you. What does she have to do to be a 10 for taking care of you? And the 10 is you being grateful. I'm so sick of Aries, his nostrils, and that hairline. Sick of all of it. So we get Clint and Gina. So Clint shows up to Gina's salon so that he can meet her team. And she's really big on he has to meet the team. I hope they like him. It's like, girl, relax. Relax. Y'all ain't going to stay married anyway. So it's fine. You're getting the exposure you wanted for your salon. So his friend, one of the girls was like, I thought he would be messy. Me and him both said, why? Why? I have never met somebody and assumed that they were messy. But, there was really nothing to that scene. He got to meet her coworkers or her subordinates because she owns it. So we get to Nicole and Chris. They are on a date at a bar. This is a little restaurant bar situation that Nicole said is right by her, I'm sorry, y'all. I got the after party on the TV. Everybody on there crying. I'll recap it. So there's a bar that Nicole has been looking at and wanting to go in and try some, what's it called? Absinthe? I feel like I always say it wrong. Absinthe. She wants to go try that, which is a super, super, super strong and potent liquor. But she's been waiting on a special someone to go to this special place with to have the special drink. Girl, just saying that you wanted to go there with a date so they could buy it for you. That's all you had to say. So they're in there and she has this drink where she has to put a sugar cube on a spoon and it's this big apparatus and it's dripping water and it looked like he got like a martini or some just blue drink. So they're talking about love again. This is day 19. That is not even 3 weeks. This is day 19 and we are once again talking about love. So she basically all but says and hints that she wants him to say it first. She says in a confessional that, she's hoping that one of them says it and they're not scared to say it. And she's like, but I just, I'm hoping it's him first. For whatever childish reason, she does not want to be the first one to say, I love you to Chris. So Chris is telling her, I don't want to be rushed into saying it, He's like, I'll say it when the time is right, when I'm feeling it. I want to take my time with it. It's not something that I just want to, blurt out or spill out like that. He was like, and now is not the time. I said, He said that very firmly. Chris is a pushover where? Where have we, what have his friends seen in him that he's a pushover? Because we're definitely not getting that. So he says in his confessional that he thinks that Nicole wants him to say it first, and he's not there yet, so he's not going to. So then we have Gina and Clint. They are doing that whole little box situation where, Pastor Cal and them be like, they suffering, y'all. They on the way to a divorce. We already had one call it quits. Get in the box. Get in the box. So they get this box of questions. They get a little champagne. Sometimes it's massage oil. It's always an overly sexual box that we know came from Pastor Cal. So Clint is reading a card and is telling him that during this conversation that they would like for them to hold hands, and they're going to have that conversation where they're getting more vulnerable and intimate details about each other. So they're asking what brings them joy. Gina gives an answer that I think was a lie because she didn't mention her salon. Clint said he falls underneath the 3 F's, okay? He said friends, family, and do you know the last one? I said, oh, let me see what time it is so I can see if I can cuss it. Okay. He wanted to say fucking. Clint wanted to say friends, family, and fucking. And she was like, oh, God, I don't know. He was like, food. I'm starting to like Clint now, y'all. I feel like Clint is the nice version of Mitch from last season. Because y'all know Mitch was terrible. I feel like Clint is the nice version of last season's Mitch. So they didn't talk about vulnerable, like a very vulnerable moment in their past. Gina talks about how her childhood was rough. How her parents divorced when she was young. And she ended up moving around a lot. Clint said that he got a girl pregnant. And while he wanted her to have the baby, she did not, she didn't want to keep it necessarily. They talked it out. He told her, I'll be there for the baby. I'll take care of the baby financially. Like, he was excited, ready to be a dad. And the girl ended up having a miscarriage. And he said that he had such a, hard time with that emotional reaction, of course. But then a physical one where his entire body broke out in a rash. And he was saying how that has never happened to him before. So the next question is, what scares them about their current level of chemistry? Gina said it's, a matter of will it ever grow or not. Well, Gina, ask yourself that. You're the one that's being standoffish. But Clint does agree. But we all know that Clint, like I said, Clint came in with the purest of intentions, I think, for this. So I think that eventually he's going to try to get her to come around to see if their chemistry can grow. I mean, I don't think they're going to last, but I think they have a 50-50 chance. Back with Shaq and Kirsten. So they are sitting in bed talking, and she asked him if he has ever been in love before. And he said yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, she asked if he's ever been in love before. He kind of pauses to answer. So then she was like, are you still in love now? And he was like, dang, let me answer. And I said, Shaq, tighten up, baby. Tighten up. So he tells her that he has been in love before. She asked him, how did you know? And he said that it was somebody that took time with him, somebody that was patient with him, somebody that made him feel what love was. He said that he grew up in a household with just, single parent, with single mother. So while his mom, engulfed him with all the love that she could, it is a different level of when you don't have a man in the household to kind of tell you what it's going to feel like. These are Shaq's words. So Kirsten said that she was in love before. Her last relationship was for about 4 years. And I'm assuming she meant that she was in love during that relationship. So, but she does acknowledge that she didn't open up to her ex. She was not willing to be vulnerable with him. She never told him what she needed or what she did not like in the relationship. So, that ultimately led to the demise of that. So she said that she thinks quality time is what is needed for her to fall in love with Shaquille. Shaq said it's just going to take time. And Kirsten was like, and quality time. He was like, I think that's what you said. He said because he is a person that, and this is what bothers me about this show. So Shaq is in his confessional, and he said that he is a person that has to make himself happy first. That's true, right? You never go into a relationship looking for somebody to complete you. They should be complimenting you, right? You should never go into a relationship seeking for that person to provide a level of happiness that you cannot provide for yourself. if that makes sense. So we understand that, get that, agree with that, fine. But he then said that, I need to have my own time. I need to go to the gym and spend time with family and spend time with friends and do what makes me happy first. You're not ready for marriage then. You're not ready for marriage then. Let's call a spade, Shaq. You don't like her anymore because you can tell that she was pulling away from you. And I think deep down, Shaq knows that she don't like him, so he don't like her anymore. He's put off by her. So she is saying that, you should be happy that I want to spend time with you. Your wife wants to spend time with you. That's a good thing. And he's kind of looking like, I'd rather hang out with my mentees. Why were them kids on this show? So then we have Jasmine and Aries. They decide to give Duchess, who is her golden doodle, a bath. So Aries wants to thank her for, taking care of him and being patient with him while he was down bad with the row. So he wants to go and show that he's coming around the Duchess and give her a bath. As somebody that has had a dog before, it's not easy to give a dog a bath. Some dogs are very, very, very well behaved. Like some of the dogs we see on Instagram that them went viral because they famous. And then some dogs are not. The dog I had growing up wasn't terrible during baths, but he definitely just didn't like being wet, like most dogs don't. So Duchess was very well behaved until she was like, if y'all don't go on and rinse the suds off of me. But it was a cute scene. It showed that Aries is trying. It showed that Aries is coming around to Duchess, considering that, he does not like dogs. I did laugh when he told Duchess that her curls were popping because she was all fresh and clean now. So we get to Chris and Nicole. Again, we're in Nicole's dogs. We always see Chris's big ass dogs. So Chris is giving himself a haircut. Him and Nicole sit down on the couch. He tells her that, he wants to keep himself looking good for her. He wants to make sure he looks his best because he has some body insecurities. A little bit of body dysmorphia because he is not quite where he wants to be. Nicole tells him, you know what? Hey, same. I'm not where I want to be either. But don't worry about how you need to look for me because I think you're handsome. I'm attracted to you. You look great. I said, okay. And then it takes a turn because Chris is like, well, I just want to give you a heads up, okay? I was asked about appearance, and I told them that, beautiful smile, beautiful face, beautiful eyes. I said, yeah, go on and play it up so you can be rude right after this. He was like, but I also told them that you're thicker than I normally go for, but not in a bad way at all. We have to get to a point on this show as a people where if somebody is not what we are used to dating, we don't say anything. That goes for you, Gina. That goes for you, Clint. That goes for you, Aries. That goes for you, Kirsten. And now that goes for you, Chris. This is our, did I list 6? 5 or 6 instances of y'all saying something that is unnecessary to say. If it's not in a bad way, Chris, why mention it? And you're only telling her because you must have realized I said that in a confessional. They might air it at any given moment. So he then goes on and starts moonwalking and tells her that thick to him is as athletic and sexy. No, it's not. You are lying right now. It's her being thicker to you is a problem, and that's why you mentioned it. Because if it wasn't a problem, you wouldn't have mentioned it. You could have literally said she has a beautiful smile, beautiful eyes, beautiful face, and left it at that. So he then goes on to say, you even refer to yourself as thicker. She said, absolutely not. No, sir. No, sir. That is completely different. That is completely different. I can call myself thick. I can say that I'm getting thick. I can say that I'm thicker than a Snicker. You cannot say that, sir. Now, Nicole said that, women can say anything, and that's use that very loosely because that's not true. So she then said that it's jarring to hear because she has body dysmorphia. She said growing up in New York, where a lot of people are really into fitness and fit and in great shape or whatever, she has always questioned her own body type, whatever. He then says, well, your body type is your body type. I'm so sick of everybody on this show, y'all. I am so sick of every single person on this show. She then tells him, avoid describing my body as thick because it can be hurtful to me. And he said, okay, let that be the end of this conversation. Let this be the last time that a YouTuber has to sit on screen and tell these people, you don't have to say, I ain't never dated no bald man before. You don't have to say that. You don't have to say, I've never dated a ginger before. You don't have to say that you're used to dating more athletic type people. You don't have to say that Jasmine's ass ain't big. And you don't have to say that, y'all. You just don't. There is absolutely no reason to tell these people that their body or their physical attributes are not what you are used to dating. It's unnecessary to do. So now we're back to Clint and Gina. They are going out on his boat, dang. He's going to teach her how to sail. It looked like they both had a really good time. She looked like she was getting into it. She's moving all the different things around. I'm not even going to pretend like I know the different parts of a sailboat. But she's moving everything around. They're into it. They're having a conversation. So we find out that Clint has come from, he said 8 generations deep of being a sailor. So he said his mom was a sailing instructor. That's just what they do in their family. So I feel like now that they're getting to know each other a little bit more, they're making some progress. Some, not a lot, but they're making some progress. So we get to this awkward, cringe, unnecessary, low-key inappropriate scene of Shaq, Kirsten, and Shaq's mentees. They come over for whatever reason to meet his wife. Now, I get that these kids are over 18. I understand that. But, why? Why? Why is this happening? Miles and Woody were teachers, and we didn't see them. Brett was a volleyball coach. We didn't see her team. I didn't understand this. I can see why there are his mentees. So they're asking, Kirsten is being gracious. They are squished on this couch, eating like they in jail with the plate on the knees. And she's like, so what do y'all like about Shaquille? One of them said, well, he's corny, but I then realized he was hip. I said, hip? One of them asked, so you 31 and you're It brought nothing to the show. It added nothing to the relationship. It did not help Kirsten learn anything about Shaq. Like I said, it's low-key inappropriate. It was just so unnecessary to do. We have seen these damn kids on here hanging out with Shaq way too much. Way too much. Find another friend. Find another friend to bring on the show. Find somebody else to bring on the show. So one of them asked Kirsten who did her hair. And that's when I was done. Because y'all don't have nothing to talk about. Y'all don't have nothing to talk about. The one thing we learned out of this scene is that Shaq had a job offer to move that would take him out of state for what he didn't call it a dream job, but he said that it was a position that would have been great for his career, probably another step up the ladder. He turned it down because he's thinking of, his wife. And he realizes that it's no longer just a me, I have another person to think of and consider. Kirsten, that's okay. You could have, because y'all going to be divorced in another week. Another month. So I hope you told them people that you just needed to finish out this little television situation and then move. Kirsten said that they talked about it, and she's just hoping that he did what he honestly and truly felt was the best for him, because she wants him to be happy and she wants him to make the best move for his career. That basically means when we divorce, don't look at me sideways because you made this decision for yourself. That's what that meant. So, Jasmine and Aries, they drinking, got some little peach-looking drinks, and they are talking about love. And so Aries said that he wanted to do some type of activity where they can learn more about each other. So they are playing Never Have I Ever while holding up a hand, and then if you have done it, you get to take a drink. So it starts off with him. Skip the whole scene. Excuse me, y'all. Before we get to that tragic scene, they're sitting on the couch and they're talking about love. And he asked her if she's ever been in love. And she said yes. And he was like, what, like 5 times? And she was like, why would you say 5? And he was like, well, you said you fall in love easily. She was like, no, it's been 3. I said, girl. She then said, how many times have you been in love? Oh, never mind. We know the answer to that. Nothing to talk about. They have nothing in common. So he then asked her, what's it like to be in love? Is it scary? And she was like, of course it is. Like, you're molding your life with someone else. You're willing to do things for this person that you would never think that you would do for another person. Of course, falling in love is scary, but it's also one of the greatest feelings. So Aries said that the one time that he was almost sort of somewhat close to being in love with somebody, she ended things, and he said that because of that, he was like, man, F this, I ain't doing this no more. So he then, I guess, turned back into the fuckboy that he is. He said because he didn't want to be a person that's sitting in their room eating ice cream, listening to R&B music because they sad. You better get into that 112-year letter. That, what's some other sad song? Mary J. Blige, Not Gonna Cry. Alicia Keys, Falling. Like, come on, Aries. Drew Hill, Beauty. Like, pull out them R&B classics. So basically, he says that whenever he feels himself starting to get feelings for somebody, that he kind of cuts it loose. And he also likes the thrill of meeting a new person and dating that person. You like sleeping around, which we find out later. Jasmine, on the other hand, is a hopeless romantic. So she said even if it doesn't work, she still knows that love is real, love is on the horizon, and she just doesn't mind trying over and over and over to find her forever person. So he asked her if she's falling in love in the marriage right now, and I wanted to say, why would she be? Why would she be, Aries? You don't even like her. You don't even give her much more than a church hug. You are sitting on the couch during this conversation like this. You're doing everything you can to not even be close to this woman. So she was like, no. She said we need to have deeper conversations and we need to get to the root of more things. And he almost looks disappointed. It's like, I bet you Aries plays this game of wanting to get these women to fall in love with him because in his mind, it's probably him like getting his lick back from the woman that broke his heart 10 years ago. So in his mind, I'm going to make sure some of these women fall in love with me, and then I'm going to break her heart just the same way my heart got broken 10 years ago. That's what it almost feels like he wants to do. It's weird. I think Aries needs a little bit of therapy. Kirsten and Shaq go to a nursery to look at some plants. And look, y'all. This scene irritated the hell out of me. the hell out of me. So he said that he doesn't know if this counts as spending quality time because it's something that he likes to do, but he wants to show her that them spending quality time together does not have to be them both sitting in the apartment talking about love and talking about life or whatever. At home, they can go out and do different activities and different things like that, which is true. So they're going through these plants, and every plant that he picks up, she don't like. Every plant that she actually likes, he doesn't. It's annoying. She likes this one. I don't like that one. He likes this one. She said it's scary. He likes this plant. She thinks it's ugly. He thinks it's unique. She wants this one. He said, oh, I don't like that one. That one don't do whatever. He's telling her how he names his plants. He wants this one because it's two colors. She don't. Two colors signifies two bodies coming together. And it's like, if y'all don't pick a damn cactus and just go, because that's what really represents y'all relationship. Get a cactus. They finally decide on a plan. He asks her which one. While picking up two, she points to the one that she likes. She's pointing at the one that she likes because the leaves are bigger, and he tells her, I like this one because we can watch the leaves grow. Then why did you ask her? Do y'all know how I would have been left from the moment that he told me the first time that he didn't like the plant I wanted? So are we here so you can get a plant or we can get a plant? I was so over that entire scene. I'm sick of Shaq and I'm sick of Kirsten. We go back over to Jasmine and Aries playing Never Have I Ever. He asks her the first question, have you ever kissed somebody of the same sex? She says no. He looks offended, almost disgusted that she has never kissed another woman. Tells her that she ain't living life right. She needs to try life again. He asked her if she has ever had sex with more than one person or with somebody watching. She says no. She said, you be having threesomes? He said no, more like orgies. I said, nigga, what? So then he explains what an orgy is to us in the confessional. As if we don't know. They ask her, how does she feel about that? She looks disgusted. They ask him how many has he had. He can't even fucking count. So I really feel like Aries probably should have drank, put the finger down for kissing somebody of the same sex. I'm sorry. If you do orgies, I think you sleep with everybody. That's just how I feel about it. You might as well have kissed. You might as well have said that you kissed somebody of the same sex too, Aries. Get the fuck. So he then asked her, has she had a one-night stand? She said no. He said, you're supposed to do all this before you get married. He then asked her if she's ever cheated. She said no. He then told her, your life sounds boring. So because she hasn't, let's get this right, y'all. Let's keep a tally. So because she hasn't kissed a girl, had an orgy, cheated in a relationship, had a one-night stand, she's boring. Aries, grow the fuck up. You are too old for that at 39 years old. Next scene. So then we get Shaq and Kirsten. They're at home. And he comes in. She has a little spa, date night, relaxation, sexual situation going, right? So she says in her confessional, she likes catering to Shaq. I said, girl, when have we seen you? Maybe it's off screen. He tells her that he has, so they're sitting down talking, and they put on some masks, and it's basically Dr. Viviana's vulnerable exercise where they do like the tantric yoga. That's why we need Dr. Viviana back, because the experts don't even show up anymore. But they're talking about an insecurity, or, tell me something about yourself that I don't already know. Shaq said easy. He said that he has insecurities about himself. Because he did not play sports, he had kind of insecurities about where he fit in. He used to have an insecurity about the scar on his head. He had insecurities about going bald early because it was in his 20s. So she then tells him that he's amazing and handsome and not to worry about that. So he asks her to tell him something that I don't know about you. Now, they have on masks. They're not even looking at each other. And she said, wow, it's a lot that you don't know. We know because you don't talk. She then said, well, sometimes I can be quiet and in my shell. And he would say, I know that already. Tell me something I don't know. This heifer literally then turns and says, well, it's really not that much more to say. This is why I could never do something like this. These people are weird on here. So he gets frustrated, as he should, and said, you just said that is a lot. So she then says, well, I don't know what to tell you. She gets quiet, completely shuts all the way down. He's in the confessional, and he said he wants to get to the point where he feels that he can trust her. And he doesn't know if he can move forward in a marriage. Where she can trust him. He can't move forward in a marriage with somebody that's not going to open up and be vulnerable and feel like she can trust him 100%, because vulnerability comes with trust. She then tells him, thank you for being patient with me. He don't respond at all, because his patience is thin. His patience has worn thin, as has mine. So then finally we get Gina and Clint, and they go to what she calls PBR, not Pabst Blue Ribbon, no, to the professional bull riding. So they take a little date. They get dressed up in their cowboy boots and cowboy hats and short jeans and jean jackets and big belt buckles, and they head on down to the rodeo. And they look like they're having fun. They said that they are rubbing off on each other like a very romantic rash. I said, not a rash. But they look like they had a really good time there. We saw them both, mainly Gina, start to relax a little more. And then afterwards, they decide to head down to Broadway, which, if you've ever been to Nashville, is like their little downtown bar area. It's like their little strip, which cracks, okay? So that is everything that happened on tonight's episode. If you have not already, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, y'all. Thumbs up the video. Hop in the comment section. Let's talk about everything that happened tonight, because a lot did happen. And I will catch you guys in the next one.